If you want to learn how to make these adorable little faux blueberry and cherry pies, stick around. Now guys, this is not my original idea. I watched Jen over at Mother Time, and I will give her all the credit. She is the one that showed me how to make these, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, although there is many different ways to tea or coffee stain your fabric, I'm using coffee. I will brew the coffee in my coffee pot and I will dump it over the fabric, and I just have it on a pan on my stove. And I'm not going to cook it. There's no heat, although the coffee comes out hot. And I'm going to pour it over the fabric, and I'm going to make sure all of the fabric is down in the coffee water, or you can do tea, or you can do tea bags. And once I have that soaking, I'm going to go find something else to do and come back later. And this is exactly how it will turn out in a coffee stain or tea stain. It will give that little bit of rustic look for the project we're fixing to do. After removing your fabric from the coffee water, I just run mine out and I put mine in the dryer for a few minutes, or you can hang it up somewhere and let it air dry. Okay guys, to make my little circle for the top of my pie, I'm just going to place my pie tin, and then I've just got a number 2 lead pencil. Gonna lightly trace around that. If you were gonna make 2, fold it over and cut 2. Scissors, and then you're gonna trim about 1 inch all the way around this circle. Just a guess, because later you're going to trim this off. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So this is what you got. So when you put that together later, you're going to glue that down. And that is how you get your pie tops. On my pie tins, I've got some burnt umber, and I'm going to go ahead and make it look a little old. I don't need to do the inside. You're not going to see the inside. Now, if you have some brown spray paint, that would be wonderful. Or even if you just wanted to leave the tins in the silver, you could do that also. Okay, using a little polyfill, let me put a little glue in there. And if you wanted to, I have a few drops of cinnamon. You could use your favorite kind of oil, and I'm just going to put a drop or 2. After gluing in that polyfill, go ahead and take your hot glue gun and put some glue all the way around the rim. Turn it upside down and stick it on your round circle of fabric. And I'm just making sure I tuck in that cotton poly field. Hold it for just a moment. Don't burn yourself, and let that dry. Neat. Looks like I got one little raised area. Go ahead and do that. Once that is dry, go ahead and trim off all of the excess. Now, to make the little ruffle that goes around the top of your pie, you're going to take your coffee stained or tea stained fabric, and you're going to take a 1/2 inch cut, and then just rip it. Don't cut it, just rip it. You want those rough looking edges. And then you're just going to start working in a small section at a time, adding your ruffle all the way around. And I had to use 2 strips of the fabric to go all the way around. It depends on how long your strip is. And at the end, I just fold it under and glue. Now here at the end, if I have a little bit too much extra fabric, I'll just trim it, tuck that edge under, hot glue it, and there is your ruffle for your pie. The next thing, I want my pie to look like it's been baked, so I'm spraying just a light spray of adhesive. Going to put some cinnamon on it, take the paintbrush, and sort of brush that in. Taking my glue gun, I'm going to put just a very little dab of hot glue so that I can add my berries in the center of this pie. My blueberries and my little cherry berries that I'm using on these pies came off of a primitive garland. I'm sure that you can find different berries for your pies at any of your craft stores. Taking the adhesive spray and lightly spraying again, take your glitter, or in my case I have some faux snowflakes, and sprinkle that on your pie just like sugar, as little or as much as you want. You be creative. Now, after you created as many pies as you want to make, go ahead and take your adhesive spray and lightly just spray the tops. And this sort of seals in everything. Here I have picked out 2 types of old ticking looking material. So you can tea stain this or coffee stain it if you want it to look a little more rustic. I'm picking out 4 pins, and if you wanted your pins to look rustic, you could spray paint them when you're spray painting the tins, or maybe you have some of the rusty ones on hand. So I'm just cutting at the end, and I'm going to rip the strips. You don't want it to look all neat and cut. You want that a ripped look. So since I have made 4 pies, I'm cutting 4 strips, 2 in the gray and 2 in the red. On the ends, just to fray, just pull some of the thread out. So after cleaning up my area just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing, I have my ink pad and my ink stamps, and mine are in capital letters. I know Jen's over at Mother Tom had hers in the small case, which was cute, but just go ahead and use what you have on hand. And since I have 2 blueberry pies and 2 cherry, I will stamp those out on a 1-inch strip of the coffee stained fabric. After pinning your little ink stain sign onto all of your pies, you are done. You have created some beautiful faux pies.